Wave? Oh, fuck, we actually did! No fucking way, really? Some friends and I decided to go on a spontaneous wildy trip after standing around doing nothing for a while. It just seemed like a good opportunity to get some wildy tasks done while having a few bodyguards with me. I didn't have the stats or items to do everything in the wilderness yet, but it still seemed worth it to do whatever I could. We went around and started completing all of the easy tasks, and also as many of the other level tasks as I could. I was able to finish all but one of the medium tasks and a handful from the hard and elites. Overall, the trip was relatively uneventful aside from the cursed energies task. When we first showed up, there was another player there who ran away. Then, a little while later, they ended up coming back and tried to start attacking us. Being completely outnumbered, he didn't stand a chance, so in the end, I was very grateful to have had some friends with me for that. After doing some Guthix caches, I finally reached level 90 Divination, which allowed me to start working on player-owned ports. Player-owned ports is a little minigame where you outfit ships to go on missions and gather you resources. Some of the later rewards from ports are extremely useful to unlock, so it's well worth getting into it when you can. It also takes quite a long time to actually progress through player-owned ports, so if you have it unlocked, make sure you're sending your ships out when you can. The main thing I'm looking to unlock from here are the scrimshaws for combat. Then, after some more 80 trash runs, I finally reached my first 99 defense. Since there's an ongoing theme around turtles on my stream, it seemed appropriate to finish off our defense against a turtle. Going forward, I finally finished getting the levels I needed to unlock Invention. Invention is a very powerful skill for both combat and skilling, so it's very, very good to get unlocked. It allows you to augment your gear and give them passive benefits, some of which are very strong. Once you've gotten the required levels for unlocking Invention, you'll want to head to the Invention Guild, which is located slightly northeast of Falador. The tutorial is pretty quick and gives you a rough rundown of how Invention works. It can feel a little confusing at first, but it's honestly not very complicated once you've done it a little. Creating items and perks with Invention requires components, which you get by disassembling various items. As an iron, it can sometimes be difficult to get your hands on a lot of cheaper items to disassemble. Making the items yourself can be very time-consuming, and buying them from various shops can be very expensive. My recommendation if you don't have the money to go around to the normal shops would be to unlock the White Knight's shop. To do this, you first have to complete the Wanted quest and then kill 1,300 Black Knights. It sounds like a lot of knights to kill, but if you head to the Black Knight area in the Taverley dungeon with a cannon, you can get it done very quickly. The benefit of unlocking this shop is that the items here are much cheaper. I'd recommend making a visit to this shop anew daily, so you're always loaded up on the commonly used components. Now that we have some components, it's time to start training our Invention. To do this, you need to augment some gear and then level it up by using it. A recommended starting weapon would be black salamanders. These are found in the wilderness, so I made sure to pick a few up while I was there. If you don't feel comfortable getting some of these, then basically any tier 70 or above weapon will work fine. The main reason to go for the salamanders is because you can disassemble them instead of siphoning from them, which will award you with more XP. When it comes to using salamanders, you need swamp tar for your ammo. I decided to visit this ship here on Lunar Island and just gather tar from these barrels. I brought some things to disassemble while waiting for them to respawn as well. After a bit of training, I disassembled my first salamander. As you level up Invention, you'll also be able to discover new blueprints. Blueprints are what give you access to new items and component types. They also give you some XP, which can be pretty nice as well. Unlocking blueprints is done through this simple minigame. Once you've unlocked the pieces that are used, you have to rearrange them to find the best combination. You don't have to find the best combination, but you'll be missing out on XP if you don't. The way I like to complete these is by mostly randomly moving the pieces around and undoing a move if it makes the outcome worse. Then, once you've gotten it to the excellent status, you just brute force try every option possible from there. this is what that looks like. I ended up having my first subathon on stream where I got a silly turtle costume to go along with the turtles theme I mentioned before. We had a really fun night with lots of PVM and silly moments like me having to do a shot of maple syrup because I'm Canadian. We also ended up reaching 99 attack as well. I decided to get working on some more questing since it had been a while. Starting off, we completed the Troll Romance quest. Then we completed Creature of Frankenstein. Next, we started the Garden of Tranquility. There's a couple parts during this quest where you need to wait for things to grow, so it can be a good idea to work on something else while you wait. And when doing some more Twin Furies, I ended up getting my second crest. I went and finished up Garden of Tranquility, and then went to complete Missing My Mummy. When completing this quest, you have the option to continue restoring Sten Litten, which I would recommend doing because it's necessary for completing some other quests. I ended up getting a fantastic new addition to my ranged gear by getting a Shadow Glaive drop from Greg. And just to add to the fun, I also ended up getting a crest from Greg and also Sifu the attack pet. Continuing on with some more quests, I first went and completed the Elder Kiln quest. This is a pretty long quest that also has quite a few enemies to defeat. The battles aren't particularly hard, so it shouldn't be too hard to complete. Completing this quest awards you with an absolute ton of XP. 100,000 in your choice of combat skill, 50,000 magic XP, and 30,000 agility XP. It also gives you access to the Fight Kiln, which is where you can unlock the best keeps in the game, along with a Toggle Zoe that makes defeating the creatures there easier. Next up, I went to complete Kindred Spirits. The majority of this quest is pretty straightforward and easy, but the final part is actually semi-dangerous. You have to escape these tunnels and find the right rope. The rope to exit with is random, so you just need to try and find the right one. You can also take quite a bit of damage while in here, so you'll want some food with you. Dying in these tunnels is an unsafe death, so be careful when doing this part. With that quest complete, we gained some agility, crafting, herb lore, and smithing XP, along with unlocking Linza as a new Bera's enemy. Next, I went and completed the Path of Glaufrey, which awards a nice amount of Strength and Slayer XP, along with some Thieving and Magic XP. Then I went and did a Void Dance, which is a pretty long quest that has a couple of annoying puzzles and minigames in it, but nothing too difficult to deal with. I'd recommend referencing the wiki if you're having trouble with any of these. Once done, we get a whole bunch of XP and some various skills. Later on, I ended up getting a Crest of Saren from Hellweir, giving us our first piece of tier 80 magic armor. Then I ended up getting my offhand glaive drop from Greg, which means we now have tier 85 ranged weapons. Since we also had 2 Zami crests to make our ranged armor, our ranged gear is really starting to come along. I'd always liked doing Araxor using ranged in the past, so with our ranged gear starting to come together, I decided it was time to seriously start working towards getting everything we'd need to face Araxor. Personally, the things I'd want to have unlocked are Overloads, tier 95 prayers, a War Tortoise, and Prif so we can activate our reward enhancers. Having some decent ranged gear also meant I could start working on Beastmaster. You technically can start doing this earlier if you have a team that's fine with it, but I personally wanted to wait until I had this kind of gear so I wouldn't be as much of a leech, and also so I can hold my own better. And after finding a group, we got to complete our first Beastmaster kill. We didn't get so spoon-fed as to get a codex on our first kill, but it's still really exciting to be able to start on that grind. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I'd also love it for you to come and hang out with us on Twitch sometime under the same name as my YouTube channel, BreaCheese. A link to my stream and schedule will be down in the video description. Anyways, see you in the next one.